The Anvil F8C Lightning is a single-seat heavy fighter that was recently released by SIG for Star Citizen's birthday. This ship is an incredible heavy fighter with best-in-class firepower, a small size, exceptional agility, and solid shielding. But will it dethrone our reigning champion for bounty hunting ship combat? Let's get into it. We'll start by going over the ship's specifications and combat capabilities, beginning with the missiles. It has two fixed 442 missile racks giving us 8 size 2 missiles. It comes with the IR ignites by default, but I prefer to use the cross-section strike force missiles since they lock more consistently and have a great hit rate. There's currently a bug preventing swapping missiles, but all you have to do is store your ship without restocking after firing all your missiles, and the loadout manager will let you put other missiles on. For guns, it has 8 weapon hardpoints, 2 size 3s and 6 size 2s. This is now the most number of guns that a pilot has control of in the verse. The 4 size 2s in the middle of the ship are automatically gimbaled and can't be changed to a different size, whereas the 4 guns on the wings are fixed by default and you can add gimbals to them if you want. To support the loadout, the ship has a heavy fighter capacitor, which is the same as what you'd get in the Vanguard or Scorpius. It's got the same impressive boost capacitor as the Vanguard, so you can boost for a really long time without needing to run the power to engines. It also comes with 2 size 2 shields, which is a lot for a ship this size. Plus, since the ship hasn't been updated with the size 2 shield change, it currently has a bubble shield instead of a front-back shield, which makes it even tankier, but I expect that to be updated to match the rest of the size 2 shields. If you look at these overlaps that I've pulled from SP Viewer, you can see that we're roughly the size of the Scorpius, which only has 1 size 2 shield and a much larger front cross-section. In fact, we're only a bit bigger than the F7 Hornet, and that's mostly due to the larger top section, and the Hornet has 2 size 1 shields. If you compare the F8C to the Vanguard, we're less than half the size despite having more agility, more hull HP, and the same shields. I wanted to show you this because I wanted you to appreciate it when I said this next bit. The F8C has better overall acceleration than all of those ships. It doesn't beat them all in every single dimension, but in the agility dimensions of up, down, and side strafe, it's significantly better than the rest. And only the Hornet and barely the Scorpius beat it in forward strafe. So what gives? Here we've got a ship with top-end DPS with a similar or smaller footprint, better tankiness, and better agility than its counterparts. Has Star Citizen fully embraced pay to win? Well, hold on a second. When all you've got's a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Right now, our combat loops prioritize killing the enemy and surviving the encounter above all else. In the future, with more star systems, other gameplay loops may become significantly more important. For example, the F8C has no interior, and only has 250k micro SCU of internal storage accessed from the cockpit entry UI. This means that you can't bed log out or eat and drink in the ship, and will need to find a station or place with breathable atmosphere. You also can't carry a package anywhere, and you won't be able to take any bounties alive when that system is built out. It only has a size 1 quantum drive, so it's not as fast in quantum as a Vanguard. It also doesn't have a fuel scoop like the Vanguard, so you're dependent upon external factors for refueling. Fortunately, it's got a generous hydrogen and quantum fuel tank, so you can still fit a fast size 1 military drive on there and not have to refuel too often. And even though it's a faster claim than the Vanguards, it still takes 5 minutes and 20 seconds to expedite the ship for 8,000 Alpha UEC. So there are balancing factors for the ship, but that still doesn't take away from its effectiveness. Now I do have to mention, we've seen this all before with a single-seat heavy fighter releasing at the end of the year. When the Ares Starfighter released, it was instantly an S-tier combat ship, but was nerfed right away after the sale period. So I'd caution against buying this ship only for its current OP-ness. I wouldn't be surprised to see a shield or agility nerf. That said, let's get into some combat. Laser cannons are a very effective loadout for this ship, and probably my preferred fit for VHRT combat. I prefer a fixed loadout, but I gimbal my size 3 hardpoints down to size 2s anyway because it's a 0.1% DPS loss, but now all my guns are the same size, so they fire and recharge their ammo in sync. We get 2100 sustained DPS with this loadout, which is actually 2% more than a fixed laser cannon Vanguard. It's that good. Sure, you don't get the additional range of the size 5 cannon, but the Vanguard needs to get close to land all of its damage anyway. I recommend going with the FL series laser cannons since they have the same DPS stats as all the other laser cannons, but they have no weapon spread, theoretically making your shots more accurate. but also because they look really cool. My preferred strategy with this ship has been to approach to the side of the target at high speed and spray them with fire as I flip and use my stronger bottom and rear thrusters to slow myself down. With laser cannons, you could put the power to shields while you're dumping your magazine, since it'd give you about 8 seconds of 25% extra shield damage resistance that you get with the full power to shields, but I found that to be pretty unnecessary. I've always taken out my targets well before my shields got low. In fact, in the 70 or so VHRTs that I've done with this ship, my shields have never gone down in combat. The only combat death that I had with this ship was from a mild fender bender with a caterpillar. So I suggest keeping the power to 100% weapons for the extra 20% ammo magazine and faster regen unless you need to recharge something else out of combat. Because of the high number of guns, each weapon will have less ammo than we're accustomed to, so it'll feel like we're running out of shots really quickly. Cannons will help with that since they're more capacitor efficient, so they'll fire about twice as long before needing to recharge. Since single VHRT missions will have targets with tanky hulls and massive size 3 shields, getting the high sustained DPS from a laser cannon fit is great, and the excellent agility of this ship and its atmospheric handling capabilities also help you land shots on your target. Even at speeds well into the red zone, the ship changes direction smoothly and doesn't fight your control inputs, and it's pretty mobile in dense atmosphere as well. I've fought numerous targets on Microtech and Hurston, and I even did my ERT certification against a Redeemer on Microtech. Your main limiting factor with this fit right now is the fact that it has shield holes, so laser damage penetrates through the shields and hits your hull. If you're unlucky, this could take out one of your thrusters or one of the flipper fin tusk thingies next to the cockpit. And if you're really unlucky, it could take out chunks of your wing, taking out 2 weapons with each wing lost. I've had this happen to me despite my shields never going down, but I typically play on fast servers with responsive AI, and I've noticed that I don't get hit as much if I play on servers during their regional prime time. The good news is that the ship flies really well and it's stable even with a missing wing, although I expect that'll probably change when they give the ship a flight pass, since it doesn't make sense to be fine while missing a third of your ship. Another fantastic loadout option for the F8C is a laser repeater loadout. I go with all fixed repeaters because, unlike cannons, the size 2 and size 3 repeaters stay in sync while firing and recharging their ammo, and I don't feel like I need the gimbals. But if you wanted to, it's only a 2% sustained DPS hit to go with a fully gimbaled loadout, so it's absolutely a viable choice. With cannons, the performance of the F8C was pretty similar to a Canon Vanguard thanks to the power of the Vanguard size 5 laser cannon. But since a repeater loadout forces the Vanguard to ditch the size 5 and go with a gimbaled size 4 to match the 1400 meters per second repeater bullet speeds, the F8C actually does 18% more sustained DPS than a repeater Vanguard, which is almost a fifth more. Ever had a fifth of vodka? It's a lot. Plus, it also offers you a fully gimbaled loadout option if you want, which you can't get with the Vanguard. The downside of this build is that repeaters are less capacitor efficient, so you'll get faster projectiles in the longer 15-40 meter range, but now you'll empty your magazine in 3.6 seconds, so trigger discipline is the name of the game, especially since it'll take over 5 seconds to get all your ammo back, so you're actually spending more time charging than firing. It's going to be less spray and pray, and more lining up the right positioning to give yourself a few clean seconds of time on target. Fortunately, you've got good headlights and excellent cockpit visibility with smaller MFDs to help you track your prey while being aware of your surroundings. Despite having 33% less sustained DPS than the cannon loadout, repeaters absolutely shred targets when you get them lined up. Against targets with size 2 shields, I actually prefer the repeater loadout more than the cannon loadout. It feels better to use, and I feel like my time to kills are faster. Fortunately, group VHRT bounties seem to be cluttered with size 2 shield targets like Ares Starfighters, Freelancers, Cutlasses, Vanguards, and Scorpiuses. Scorpii? Whatever. The point is that in group bounties the repeater build is fantastic, and it still performs okay at the single bounties that put you up against tankier targets like Caterpillars, Carracks, Constellations, and so on. I wanted to give an honorable mention to a ballistic cannon loadout here. The ship comes with some tarantulas fitted by default, so I went with a full tarantula loadout out of respect for the Anvil manufacturer's wishes, but also because all ballistic cannons at size 2 and 3 are the same except for mass drivers, which have lower DPS in exchange for a higher alpha. But yeah, cannons have 1 minute's worth of ammo before running out, so you want to make your shots count. You could try Gatlings, and it would look gorgeous, but you may struggle to kill VHRT targets with a total of only 87,000 ballistic physical damage before running out of ammo. Remember, every target will have between 50 to 60% physical damage resistance on the hull, plus the shields will absorb some damage as well. But with the cannons, we get a total of 256,000 ballistic damage, so that gives us a bit more staying power. I didn't find the DPS of the cannons to be anything particularly special thanks to the enemy hull resistance, and since I never felt under pressure while I was in combat with lasers, I didn't get a lot of value out of being able to run full capacitors to shields. But it is nice for a change of pace, and it does make it so that you don't have to worry about the enemy's infinite size 2 front shields at all. As for how long the ammo lasted, I was regularly able to kill one target with size 3 shields, or a full group VHRT against size 2 shielded targets with a full load of ammo. The group VHRT was a bit closer since the targets can be smaller and therefore harder to hit. Personally, now that I've tried it, I won't be going back, but you can do it if it speaks to you. The last thing I wanted to mention was how to acquire the ship. For SIG's birthday on October 10th, they released this ship, available to every backer so long as they participated in an in-game event where you have to go around the verse and acquire golden tickets. These can be in any lootable container, so search red and white boxes at outposts, and red, green, and medical crates and bunkers. Also check the chest and leg armor pockets of downed guards since they also have them. Once you get a golden ticket, go to any ship rental kiosk in the verse to unlock a 24-hour F8C rental in-game and the ability to purchase the ship on the site until November 7th. These tickets aren't too rare, so if you spend a couple hours, you should find one. You can also get a platinum ticket in the game, and that'll award you a free F8C with LTI and unique paint. These are initially carried by devs and need to be turned into one of the 3 main ship vendors in-game. I'm not sure how to tell if a dev is on your server or how to find them, so please let me know if you know how and I'll pin a comment. You have to turn either ticket in before the 10-day event ends, so make sure you do that before October 20th if you want the ship. Now I'm going to do my best terms and conditions guy impersonation. It's purchasable for Warbond with 260 USD or for credits for 300 USD, and there are no CCUs for it, so you cannot upgrade another ship to the F8C, and you cannot upgrade the F8C to another ship. You can melt it if you want to, and you'll be able to buy it back if melted. You cannot gift the ship even if you buy it with a Warbond. You can only own one F8C, but I'm not sure if this applies to the rewarded ones you get by spending 10k or 15k on the game. Oh yeah, you can also get the ship as a thank you for spending 10k on the game. You'll get a unique skin for 10k and a different unique executive skin and interior if you spend 15k. People are very happy about this. Phew, okay. Last thing is, remember that your great-great-grandkids will be able to unlock the ability to buy this ship in-game by playing Squadron 42, so you don't need to get it right now. Just know that given the limited release of this ship, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not offered for a regular purchasing game or during the regular ship sale events, but I'm just speculating. That's all I've got for the F8C, folks. I've had to compress my combat and flight testing considerably to try to get this video out in time, so I apologize for not covering more loadouts like Distortion. I'll keep playing around with things, and I'll update my loadout spreadsheet that's linked in the video description if I discover anything new. If you've got any questions or comments, please let me know. You can find me in the comments, on Twitch, or in my Discord, so come by and say hi. Links are in the description. And as always, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've liked this video. Cheers.